Hello, Ming here, and I just wanted to discuss punching, as many people like to criticize my punching and whatnot in various videos, and I wanted to talk about how the way you punch doesn't have to be exactly the same every time. The technique you use doesn't have to be the exact same every time. You may go to a boxing coach, or you may go to an MMA coach, or you may go to a karate sensei, and they may tell you that this is the way to punch. Some specific technique is the way to punch. And they might say to always punch that way. I would disagree with that. There is likely good reason to punch the way they're telling you to punch, but only in certain circumstances. And there are different circumstances where you might want to punch in a different way. As an example, sometimes when you throw a jab, you're just trying to distract the opponent, or trying to maybe even push the opponent away from you, or you're just trying to keep on the offensive so that the opponent is going to stay on the defensive instead of coming at you with another attack. In this case, the jab is not meant to knock somebody out, so you don't actually need any power whatsoever in this jab. And the faster it is, the more effective it's going to be, regardless of how powerful it is, because you're just trying to, distract, or you could be feinting with it, so you're not even making contact then with this punch. But trust me, when someone punches, like when you see a fist coming to your face like that, most people react, and it's an inborn natural reaction that you're going to be on the defensive and try to step back maybe and get away, especially if you're an inexperienced fighter. An experienced fighter obviously has dealt with these things before, so any technique you use on an experienced fighter is not going to work as well as it does on an untrained fighter. But either way, sometimes you're just going to punch to distract somebody, or to make them think you're going high, and then you come in with the other fist low. Or you're coming in low, but you come in with another fist high, right? So it's like a diversion, stuff like that. Or you can use that same punch to knock somebody out. You can put your whole body weight into it, then use the right technique for the most power. And the problem with power is, a lot of times, in order to put more power into your punch, you end up telegraphing it a little bit. So another advantage of this quick little jab pop to the face is that it's not telegraphed, and it's so quick that it wouldn't even matter if you were telegraphing it, or it matters less, because you still might catch the opponent off guard just because it's so quick. It's not going to do as much damage, but if you hit someone 100 times like that, it is going to add up to some damage. But then, yeah, also you could hit them with that little jab, and then come in and hit them as hard as you fucking can in the head, to try and get a knockout. There is a time and a place for both of these types of punches. And so when people look at a video and they just say, well, that punch has no power, it would never work. Or they say, you're telegraphing with that punch. If I jab you in the face where there's no telegraph, and then I come in with an overhand right to your face that was telegraphed, you're already hurt from getting jabbed in the face. You're distracted. You're concerned about how your nose feels or whatever, and while you're distracted like that, you missed the whole telegraphing of this overhand right, and I knocked you out. This is a very likely possible scenario. And if you actually watch fighting, if you watch MMA fights, if you watch boxing, you will see evidence of this. There's so many times in MMA where I see total haymakers, punches that you could easily see coming from a mile away, and they still connect and they still knock people out. would it be better not to telegraph? Of course. But you can actually, telegraph a little bit and really put your body into a punch if you've, set up that opportunity for yourself by either feinting or hitting the person with a quick jab or something like that, or a kick or something like that to distract them, or you grapple them first to pull them into this punch. There's many ways that you can make a telegraphed punch still connect, and I've seen it happen a million times. So I'm just tired of people that clearly have no experience fighting, that comment on other people's videos like they know what they're talking about, and they because some coach or some instructor or some sensei or sifu has told them that you can only punch in this one specific way. I think if you want to be a really good fighter, you should learn how to punch in many different ways and learn how to make those punches work in various circumstances and situations. And in that way you have like an arsenal at your disposal, so that when that circumstance comes around where you can use that punch finally, you've practiced it, you're ready, and boom, you knock the guy out. So those are just some thoughts I have on punching, and